Well, good morning, Piglet. How's your food? How's your food, Jaw? Jaw. They just caught you burping on camera. How about that? Well, hello, my friends. It's your old pal, Jordan the Lion, coming back to you, not from Ohio. John and I actually drove up to Michigan last night to visit my brother, and he and I are going to do 2 vlogs today, starting with the first, which is what we're going to take off and do now. This is a wacky place, and it started out as just a grandfather and a grandson taking all the garbage that was left in their neighborhood and deciding, we got to do something with this. What do you see what they did? Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. You burped on camera. What do you have to say for yourself? Now they all know what a pig you are. Well, Job, we'll see you in a little bit. We're going to do some vlogging and we'll come back. The house is yours. So our first stop today is something called the Heidelberg Project. Welcome to the home of a gigantic tire. Well, here we are. Like I mentioned earlier, grandfather and grandson saw all kinds of debris in their neighborhood. It was kind of a rundown neighborhood, and one day the grandson grabbed a bucket of paint and said, I'm going to do something with all this garbage, and he created the Heidelberg Project. Now, over time, I think 3 or 4 of the structures have been torn down, but now I believe it's run by a non-profit organization that kind of keeps it up. So we're going to roam Heidelberg Street here, and you guys are going to get to see what these guys have created over many years. This is awesome. Well, one of the first structures that we see here, and I'm not sure where you find the names, but almost all of these were giving some kind of name. He gave them all a theme, and I believe this is like the religious Jesus house. But check this out. Oh my gosh, man. And just about everywhere you look, there's something to look at. There's a mushroom. Like I said, they turned just about everything into art. Little teepee of doors. Even here you can see they've repurposed local signs. So you have a penny sign right here. You have a Baptist church, and then you have a real estate office front door. And as many clocks as you could possibly think of. It's like looking at Salvador Dali out here because they're all made in a completely different way. They're all pointed to a different time. Unbelievable. Well, here you can see somebody put their bra as part of the artwork, as most people would. Then here's the U house over here. They've used old pallets for the gate. Now it's crazy, you would think that someone would try and tear this down, like the city would say this is unsafe, but somehow they allowed it to stay, and it's been here a long time. Take a look at all this stuff. Like I said, they all have kind of crazy names, and this is the U house. Can you guess why? Here's the other side of the house. Everything is about time now. Well, it says look in garbage. I guess we should look in the garbage, shouldn't we? There's nothing in there. They fooled me. Yeah, my brother was just pointing out that this looks like it's they've memorialized this to someone, the car, because on the other side it says like rest well, Lonnie. Now here's a row of what looks like car hoods that have rusted out. And all of this over here is all part of the art. Now take a look at this boat. It's all crazy stuffed animals. That's so funny, look at that. They even put a ladder for all the animals to get onto the boat. Check that out. Now check out the art doghouse. This is great because they actually cut holes right into the artwork where you can stick your head through. Look at the front. Yeah, look at all the stuffed animals on the roof. So now we're gonna head into this whole section right over here. Look at the flower, or look at the tree pot here. It's half a car, just dug right into the ground. And then look where the hood and everything was. I bet we know where the hood is, but check that out. And then here's your unofficial voting station over here. Vote here. And here's the shoe fence. Now this one's actually one of my favorites. On the outside of the fence, various people have put their hand. You can see they've traced their hand all over it. But then when you look in here, wait till you check this out. It gets better. Now look at that. That's all crumbled metal to create flowers right there in that center. Oh, I love seeing stuff like this. I love this stuff. And then when you get to the house, it's kind of cool because the house actually has a sign on it that says, "This is not the Heidelberg Project." Look in there. See if you check out the house. We are loved. Check that out. I was making art in this house 28 years ago. Tim Burke. Now take a look at this one. It's all polka dot. Oh, even Mickey's getting in on the action. Sitting here chilling, sunglasses. Look at the side of the house. Look who's flying out the window. Superman! Now this one's made out of a city cab door. Actually a few car doors, all car doors. Now this is, I guess, what you'd call the Welcome Center. This is the little shack that can give you any info about the Heidelberg Project. There's nobody in there. It looks like they've got Homer Simpson's face up here. Or a Muppet of some sort. This is complete chaos. I love it. There's a red shoe. Then you've got a whole shoe motif right here. Who is driving the car? Oh, this has a lawnmower on the engine. And the very first car ever that I've seen driven by a stuffed bear. Probably better than most of the drivers I've seen out here. Now I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of this is, but like I said, you can see there's a little bit of open space out here. That's because 4 or 5 of the places have been taken down. Well, there's Castle Grayskull from He-Man. There's a headless woman clock. My brother's trying to get in the trunk. There's a door house here. Just look at all this stuff. Like I said, they kept getting tired of seeing like garbage laying around, so they decided to turn it into something. I know it may not be for everybody, but it's actually maybe hard to believe, but this is one of the cooler things in the neighborhood. As we drove through, it's not probably the economically greatest area. So this gets people out here. Now it looks like they're doing something here, and these are all wheelchairs. Wheelchairs, and then right in the center, those are all walkers. Hubcap Garden. There are so many clocks out here. I mean, it's just unbelievable. You can still see the foundation of the house right here that used to be here. And it actually went down. There's a little stairwell in there. You can still see the chimney there, and somebody's put gloves on a stick at the top of it. You know, I think Tim Burke, the guy who's working on a lot of this, he and my friend Kenny in Palm Springs need to meet up, because they're two peas in a pod. Look at this jet ski being fueled by beer and a only leg doll. I was gonna say legless, but that's all we got there, legs. And of course, looks like a camel head. I was expecting that. I figured there'd be a camel head here somewhere, you know. And then here, if you peek through into the house that's no longer here, you can see there's still stuff in there. There's a little like kid's car in there. Turtle playing the keyboard. Here you've got an old telephone booth. And then on the other side, if you look right here, an old Detroit newspaper street press machine where you could just go up and buy your own newspaper. This is just total chaos. Check out the doghouse. Literally, doghouse with tons of dogs. Getting drunk, no less. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I mean, who am I to question art? Oh, they're all full of shoes, he said. Wow. And speaking of shoes, we've got a mountain of shoes with an angel on top. Now let's go check this out. We've got a shopping cart over here with mannequin legs coming out of it. And then you've got the War TV. Now I think we gotta venture over into here because I see a lot of stuff over here. This is actually the next street over. It takes over about 2 streets. Now they've got another TP of old car hoods here. Once again, they've painted most of them. And then you got this. Look at all these clocks and taxi signs and then looks like we're getting ready to walk into the garden of tires. You can see they line the streets over here. I think I've now seen almost every form of a clock that could ever be made. Look at all these tires. Just lining the street. And then they lead you to a tree with what else? Believe and achieve. Now take a look at this tree. At the base of the tree, of course they've got a clock on there, but at the base they've cut tires, painted the tires, and wrapped them around the tree. Now here they actually painted the clock straight onto the tree with red paint. So they definitely have some running themes out here. Religion, clocks, dolls, tires, and this one over here is the God clock. And like I said, this is not the greatest neighborhood, so just so you know, lock your door. Now my brother just found the local doctor's office. We got the reception area over here with tons of shoes, of course. Then you've got the examination room over here and the exam table, naturally, with ta-da, body parts and a phone with no receiver and crutches and a clock, of course. You guys see what that says? Cash for your Warhol. Recession is coming. Now unfortunately this one fell over, but my curiosity's killing me. I gotta see what it is. Gotta see. Taxi sign, of course. It's a drawn-on taxi. Now we're heading over to the playground. Yep, they got a playground for the kids. More taxi signs. Yeah, he's clocked everything. As we walk over to the swings and the climbing stuff, all clocks and tires and wow. Take a look at this. Skateboard ramp. I almost missed that one. If you're coming through Detroit and you don't swing by here, at least drive through it. You're slipping. Look over here. Jesus is the answer. Clock. You got clocks going all along that side. You got clocks up here. Tires and clocks over here. I just love, you know, my brother pointed out as soon as we got here, you noticed it right away, he said, all of them point to a different time. Clocks as far as the eye can see. They're everywhere. And this seems to be a running theme too, where he uses a lot of discarded shopping carts. Now check out the shoe tree over here. We have another shoe tree where it's all just painted pictures of shoes. He's got one up here, of course a clock, but then you go to this tree over here. There's painted pictures of shoes. You can tell there's one right there, there's a couple right there. On the ground. So here's the back side of the first house that we saw. And I wanted to show you the other side because what we did was we basically started here, walked up one street, and then turned and walked down the other. Noticed he had a 75 North sign here. And lots of records. You can see these bolted records up there that have all wilted. And then look at this duck. It's made all out of upside down pop caps from like a pop bottle. Each one's been screwed in there. So my brother just pointed out, he said if you notice, that solar panel's connected to this house, so the house must light up in some way. And I just now noticed, I'm like, well, I loved this where it says soul never dies on that cross right there. But then I looked up and you got a door up there with what looks like a bathrobe or something hanging off of it. And I just noticed if you look at the record itself, how fitting. It's Aretha Franklin. She just passed away. I guess she's actually buried, I believe, like an hour from here. She'll be memorialized here. And just in case you were thinking of coming and taking anything or vandalizing, they actually do have cameras posted up that are watching this place, so It's probably a good idea. Okay, I don't get it, but okay. Little hand cane. Now we're gonna walk across the street. There's a couple more structures to check out, and then we are gonna call it a day. Oh, this is incredible. Look at this. Look at this. They made this too. Crushed bottles into the ground. Look at that. This guy, I'm loving this. I'm loving this guy. And then these characters seem to be a running theme all along the sidewalks as well. Right here on the corner is a crib full of stuffed animals. Now we're gonna cross over and go check out some of this stuff. As you might have guessed, many more clocks. And then this house that's falling apart they've even been working on. Salvador Dali type. Now in this house you notice there's a lot of hand-painted taxi signs. In fact, they even put one right over here right directly onto the house. And then the rest of these, you've got a Detroit taxi, you've got the New York taxi. Let's peek in and see what's inside. Rubble. Oh, well this one obviously burned. That's what happened there. This side's even better because you have a taxi, but you actually have people riding in this taxi. Fire God? I didn't expect to see that one. So I had to show you guys this. All TVs and kids' old, you know, those little cars that kids ride around in. Now the kicker to this is, check this out. They actually have the gate open with steps so we can get a little bit better angle. And don't worry, he didn't forget the clock there or there being held down by the tree. Cartoon Network. Wow, take a look at that. I know to some people they're just looking at this going, that is nothing but old discarded junk, but I respect when people can turn something like this into something that other people would want to come see, and they've definitely done that. Gross! Look in the TV. It's almost like an aquarium now. Saw a big American flag one back here I wanted to take a look at. Oh, Shrek's driving this one. There you can see a little bit of artwork right here. And then this one's half Canadian, half American flag. And then you can actually, if you wanted to, you could actually get down in there because the stairs are right here. But I'm not going to. I don't trust that. I mean, you can tell the whole roof is burned and decayed away, so that's it. I just can't believe how much they hand painted that. That's awesome. Now we enter a section where the streets or the sidewalks have a polka dot theme. We're gonna end right over here by the U house. Well, here's the front of the U house, and I think this was totally worth a stop. I had a great time checking this out. All right, that's gonna do it for us here. We're gonna go off and do some more vlogging, which you guys will see tomorrow. You won't want to miss this because it's an extra special Patreon vlog for Chris Smith. So come back and see me tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the Heidelberg Project. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye from Detroit.